Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jacob Restituto, and I'm a musician from Northport, New York. And today I have the absolute pleasure of having Jordan Powers here on the channel for a chat. And I want to thank you, Jordan, for taking the time, and I want to thank everybody else for listening, whether it be podcast form or here on YouTube, to this interview. Thank you so much for taking the time, Jordan.
Hi, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It is my pleasure. So, for the people that may not be familiar with your incredible list of things, I was thinking about how I was going to intro you in the beginning of this, and I was like, man, like, what's the best way to say it? And I was like, you know what? If there was like an award for the most, what's the word I'm looking? What was the word I was thinking of? You have your hands in so many pots in the music industry, and I was like, man, that is so
Renaissance
impressive.
woman.
What was it?
A Renaissance woman.
Yes, it is so impressive that you just in all these different things, whether it be singing for Selena Gomez, whether it be doing teaching your own vocals, whether it be writing with Disney on a couple different projects, whether it be even in the worship sector working with Mosaic, like you're in all these different.
You do know everything.
Hey, I do my research, right?
That's crazy. Yeah. Yep,
Are
yep,
you
yep,
still
yep.
with Mosaic, or are you still?
No, I left a couple years ago now.
Okay,
Actually, right before I went on tour
okay,
with Selena. Yeah. So
yeah.
they're
So
doing well though.
yeah,
They you know.
absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, you've done a lot of different stuff, and you went to school to be a dancer,
I
so
did.
which is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
you graduated from Loyola the year before one like really good friend of mine graduated. So it's just a very
Oh,
small world.
really?
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, and that's like a pretty small school too, so I may or may not have. Well,
you may
I
have.
won't. I won't give myself that much credit. I didn't really leave my house. If I left my house in college, I was in class.
Okay, I hear that.
I was from it, so
I love it. I
you
love
know.
that. So for the people that are not familiar with you, can you just give a little backstory on your kind of how you started in the music industry? It kind of got. Let's talk up until you left maybe the maybe college area, and then like kind of we'll start into this more like mature, I guess we'd call it, aspect of
Yeah.
your music career.
Right. So yeah, I grew up in Aston, Pennsylvania, which is a small town outside of Philadelphia, and I was just that like annoying kid that was like singing and dancing everywhere, like every talent show, all of that. I just loved attention. I loved to sing and dance, and I also loved the attention that I got from it. So, that I just had a dream from like early on that like I wanted to do that forever. And so, I mean, being from a small town outside of Philadelphia, like my parents didn't know anything about the music industry, so I just was kind of in charge of figuring it out myself. And
Hmm.
I was a very, like I said, like precocious child. So figuring it out was like, I was going to do it, you know?
I
And
love it.
yeah, so I made a demo, actually, like a small EP when I was 15 with a producer in New York. His name's Terrence Dover. And that was the first time that I was ever in a recording studio. That's the first time that I ever did like a co-write with someone, because I wrote the songs with him. And so that was like a really cool way to get my feet wet. But really, like I would say that the thing that sorry, I think I might have just like popped out for a second, but my internet's being
Yeah,
funky.
yeah, your camera's getting a little wonky, but it's all right.
Okay. Well, the thing that like really I guess like forced me to um figure out how to make music my life was moving to Los Angeles.
So at what point
Yeah.
did you do that?
At 18.
Okay, so
Yep.
before college, then I guess,
I moved out, yeah.
and then you
Like
went. Yeah,
right. Yep.
that's wild.
Yeah.
So
Just by myself. Just
s-
go.
hey, that's the artist's dream though. Like I feel like that's a typical story. I saw that. So I got in full disclosure. I got a lot of the information from your LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn had a ton of information. So I saw that you were a waitress out in L.A. And I'm
Yep.
like, man, that's just a typical like you watch any typical movie, you hear any story. It's like you leave your hometown, a small little hometown, go to LA, you waitress, and then you become a superstar, and you're on your
Oh,
way there.
thank you. But I was a waitress, I was a nanny,
Yep.
I worked at a gym, I worked at a coffee shop. Like I did all of all of the things. I
I have
cleaned
to say,
toilets.
you have a very descriptive LinkedIn. All those things are lifted on.
No, literally, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't even know how to get into that LinkedIn anymore. I could probably
Well, I'm pretty sure it's all been it's
get
like
some of that.
been so outdated that like I think
Oh yeah.
everything is still present. Like you're still on tour with Selena Gomez, you're still nannying, you're still at Mosaic, you're still all these. It's all present.
Oh yes, I'm very organized.
That's all
Very
right.
on top of that.
I love that. So, um, it's kind of cool. You referenced, the first time co-writing, and that we're gonna get into in a little bit. But you do. It's kind of cool to see the prelude of that when you were 15 to now. That's part of your career now, and you can just kind of see like the little building blocks that we take to kind of get to where we are. So I'm curious. You went to school for dancing though,
Mhm.
and now you're doing a majority more like singing and writing.
Yeah.
How did that transition? What made you go to school for dancing?
I knew I did not want to go to school for communications or business, or looking back it's like business would have been all right. But I just didn't want to. I didn't really want to go to school. I wanted to just move to LA and like do the whole artist journey. But moving 3,000 miles away from my parents, they were like, no, you will have structure. And I was like, okay. So yeah, I mean, I grew up dancing. I've danced since I was 2 years old. And I really did, and I still do love it. Um, but I just always knew inside that I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be the artist. I wanted to do all of that. So like, I mean, I stuck with dancing because you know, how could it hurt you to be a performer who knows how to pick up choreography
Oh, I
and
wish I knew how to
all that?
dance.
Anyone can dance. Come
Oh
on.
gosh, I'm half Latino, and my wife is not Latino at all, and she's a
Mhm.
better dancer than I am, and it's I'm so embarrassed. It's
Okay,
horrible.
one, two,
Oh,
one.
it's
You just
so
gotta
bad.
find the beat, you know?
I can no, hey, I'm a musician. I can find the beat. I'm a stick, like I have a stick up my butt when I dance. I'm like
Oh,
so stiff. It's so bad. It's so bad.
we'll get you
Oh
some.
gosh, I could use some
I don't know.
lessons.
I don't know what's gonna
I could use
loosen
some
you up,
lessons. I
but
need an intervention.
right. Yes, we just need to.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Sorry. So
Um,
continue. So you were talking about how your parents
yeah,
wanted structure and you wanted to always be the performer and stuff. But
yeah. So then, when college was coming to a close, I someone told me once, they were like, "You can do a bunch of things, but like you'll never be great at one of them." And I was like, "But if you stick to one, like you could be great at it." I kind of really took that to heart, and so I was like, I must do music, only music,
hmm,
no more dancing, no more taking classes. I was kind of, worn out too, from dance, doing it every single day. Because growing up, like I would do it like a couple hours,
yeah.
a couple days a week after school, you know? But doing it as your major, like it's every single day, 8 hours, and you're just you get burnt out, you know? So, I was like, I'm gonna change focus, and I really want to get into music because that was really my heart and soul was music. I danced because I love music, you know?
Hmm.
I wanted to make music. So, I started going to that church Mosaic. I met some other songwriters and producers, and started working with them, and just kind of went from there.
That's
There was a
wild.
whole other journey inside of that too.
Well, so now how do you go from just making that decision to then singing? So actually, let me take a back step. Actually, the reason I do a lot of these interviews is first of all, I love meeting other artists and other creatives, and it's just like that's the best part of like that's the best part for me. I love it.
Yeah.
Such an extrovert that I just love meeting people. Right now, the alternative and the goal behind that is I really want to deliver to people watching some sort of kind of roadmap, if that makes sense. Like I dropped out of college, I dropped out of college to do music full time, and when I dropped out, Ed Sheeran was like, I was like such a massive fan, and like I was like reading all the, I tell the story all the time. I was reading all these articles, listening to every interview, heard his music 1,000 times, and like I was always so, I could never get grasp the concept of how he did it, in the sense of like I'd hear these stories. Oh, Ed Sheeran gigged 312 gigs in 1 year, and I'm like, bro, I dropped out of college and I can barely get one a month. Like, how did he do it? You know, so I've been documenting my process the entire way. I've kept a journal every single day, kind of thing, and like, you know, I vlog, and it's like as my journey grows, I want to share people my experiences so that they can learn from it, right? So now
Yeah.
the goal for this is kind of similar. Like, I want to connect the dots of just people, because nobody's going to be Jordan Powers, but they could say, oh, I love that she did that. Oh, that's how she got that connection. Let me see if I could take that point and put it to this point and connect the dots. You know, it's like, so I, as comfortable as you are, I would love to see how, if you could break down some of those walls or barriers, and say like, okay, this is how I went from this point to this point to this point. So how did you make the decision of deciding I want to write songs to, you know, then going and singing backgrounds with Selena Gomez and also writing with Disney? Like, how did that even happen?
So the main goal that I always have is just to do this forever,
I love
you
that.
know? So, kind of like the details, I have goals, you know, I have
Mm,
like goals of like I want to put out my own records. I want to go on a headlining tour. I want to, you know, do all those things. Be a huge international pop star.
love it.
Um,
I love it. And you
but
know
like
what? It's so hard to say that out loud to some people, because they're like, you get shunned so many times that sometimes you just, it's like, I know what I want. I'm just not going to tell
listen,
people it.
it's
Because
not everybody's goal. Like it's
that's true
not
too.
everybody's dream to do that. So they're like, "Oh, okay, like yeah,
Yeah.
you good luck." I'm like, "Okay, well, that's not your goal.
Yeah,
Like it's
exactly.
mine." So like, you know.
I love it.
Um yeah. Um but I feel like the so for me like kind of the details I'm a big picture person in general. So like details don't really matter.
Yeah.
I'm like is that like cuz everything really helps everything else. Like I said I didn't want to go to college, but the only reason I got the Selena Gomez gig is because I went to
Wow.
college and I met um one of Taylor Swift's backup singers and she was like I told her I could sing or I was like I want to do what you do. I raised my hand. I raised my hand because she was speaking, and she was like, "Do you have any questions?" I'm like, "It's what you do." And so I told her I could sing. I sent her a video, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you can." So then the only reason that I got the Selena thing was because I met her, and her name's Camila Marshall, and she recommended me for that gig. So like everything is just interwoven. So I would say like because there really is no roadmap, especially because being an artist is so personal. Like what you say is personal to you. Just every journey is personal to that person. Um, like my biggest piece of advice that I wish I could give myself.
Oh
Uh,
snap! That's you. You stole my question. That is the last question I ask every single guest. Every guest, I'm like, the last question before we wrap it up is like, so what is
should I
one
hold it?
thing? No, no,
Should I?
whatever. It doesn't matter. It's like, so what is one thing that you wish you know now that you wish you could tell yourself when you were first starting
Okay,
off?
then I won't phrase
No,
it
no,
that way.
no, no. It's the same answer. So what does it even matter? Please go
um,
for it. What is it? I
okay,
want to know.
so I wish that I had been told like I guess people did say this, but I couldn't like really like
Internalize
accept
it.
it yet, internalize it. Is like do you just have to put yourself out there. Like it is frightening. It's extremely I mean it's vulnerable to be vulnerable.
Hmm.
So if you can get over that and like just know that like you are you and you can accept yourself and just like put yourself out there, like I just think that you're gonna get 315 shows
Yeah.
in a year. You're
And
gonna,
it's
you
also
know.
to some degree building that skin of rejection. Like, you just have to get that no 1,000 times.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that is something I'm so happy that I learned early on because, like I said, I started dancing when I was young, and I danced competitively. So I would like go to dance competitions and like perform, do solos, duos, groups, and like you get judged, like you get a place, you get a medal if you do, and like you get critiqued, like this was good, this was bad, work on this or whatever. So I, from a very young age, like became like knew the value of a critique. Like a critique is
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Mm.
it's an opinion, but there, when you're, I don't know, some of it's objective, but
Yeah.
a lot of it's just an opinion. And if you can understand that, as an artist, what you're making, not everyone's gonna like, but like the most important thing is for you to like it.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. I love
good
that.
art.
So that is super key, and I think that is as a beginning artist, like just for people that are starting off that are listening to this, I think that is one of the most important things is not everybody's gonna like it, and it might not be, it might not even be your significant other's cup of tea. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's okay. Like, because there are people that are gonna like it. You just have to find those people. And
Yep.
a really good business tactic that I've heard just for business, but it also applies to music and all the arts and stuff, is like, stop trying to convert the people that are no's to yeses. Just find the people that are yeses. You
Yeah.
know, and so
Yep.
it's. I mean, I like I said, I heard that in the context of trying to sell to people, but it's you're really selling your music. You know, it's really no different. Just find the people that are interested rather than converting everybody else that's not. It's way more work, and you might never convert them.
Well, that's what's so interesting about like TikTok now too.
Mm,
Everybody has their niche, and like of
yeah.
course, like not everybody's going to want to learn about like tarot cards. Like my For You page is like astrology, tarot cards. But like not everybody cares about that.
Yeah.
But there are about, I'm sure you could find 500,000 people that are interested in it out of,
Yeah.
however many
A
billion.
billion. TikTok
Yeah,
just hit
1
a
billion.
billion
Wild.
downloads, which is
Yeah.
wild. So yeah,
So
absolutely. So
it's just
and
niche.
exactly, and you have to put yourself out there. I want to go back on that really quick because you ever hear of the group um, uh, I want to say Mosaic, Maverick City? Have you heard of them?
Yes.
So I had no Naomi Rain on the channel, who
Okay.
sings with Maverick City, and one of the things that she recently said that was really interesting. I was like, so how did you get involved with Maverick City? It's just like when she's like, one of the things that I think is most important, and it was her. This was her, I think, final answer, the one that you brought in early. Um, her final answer was, you just have to say yes. And now it kind of ties into this whole putting yourself out there, because she said a lot of the gigs that she got and the reason she got to where she was in her career is because she actually said yes to opportunities when they came to them, as opposed to like the old. She said, who was saying her old self would be like, oh hey, so and so would be like, hey, do you want to sing on this? And she'd be like, oh well, I'll sing backgrounds, like. And then she learned, no, if I want to go somewhere, I need to be able, yeah, I'll sing the lead on this for sure, like. And then all that stuff, yeah, I'll duet this video with you on TikTok. I'll cover
Yep.
this. Yes, I'll cover this song. And it's like putting yourself out there as this yes, as opposed, like you said. So it's super important. Otherwise, nobody's gonna know that hidden talent, right? It'll stay
Yeah.
hidden.
There's also this affirmation that has been going around TikTok. I'm on TikTok a lot. Uh,
I love it.
it's Jordan Powers.
Yeah, absolutely. The link will be in the description.
um, and there's this one affirmation that was going around. It was like everywhere. And it was, I do not chase, I attract. What's meant for me will come to me, will simply find me, I think. And that's what that is though.
Mm.
Like when you have an opportunity and it's just like literally at your doorstep, and it might not be exactly what you thought it was going to look like. I didn't think my first tour would be as a background singer, but I was like, well, I'll be performing in front of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of people. Um, I will be traveling the world. Like,
So you like legit? Yeah, it's insane. And
yeah, I'm like, I'll do it.
I want to hear about that in
I'll
a
do it.
quick sec. But I completely relate to that. It's like sometimes you just got to say yes to the opportunity. If it's in the general direction of where you want to go, just say
Exactly.
yes. Because like I never planned on being a full time YouTuber, or a musician that does YouTube full time. It just started paying the bills.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's one
And you
step
like
closer
it.
in the right direction.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I want to hear about this touring with Selena, because that is wild. That's like
Wow.
that's a,
Oh, sorry. I'm busy. Someone knocked on my door.
um,
um, it was literally wild. Like we traveled all on like all over the US, Canada. We went over to Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand. It did get cut short. Like we were supposed to go to Europe, we were supposed to go to South America, um, but we didn't do that. Um, but it was the most eye-opening experience of my entire life.
in what sense?
Just to be exposed to that many different cultures, and then a lot like personally, like I went through a lot personally on that tour that like I was like, oh. And then I'm also like right next to like someone that I have looked up to and like wanted to be like, I want to have like the same platform and the
Yeah.
same, be in the same situations as her. So it's like I'm just like I don't
Bro,
even
take
need
as many notes
binoculars.
as you.
I don't even need
Yeah,
binoculars.
yeah,
I
right.
just yeah.
Oh shoot, that's wild, man. That is so
Sorry.
crazy. No, that's all good. Do you need a sec?
Nope. Just
Sounds
come
good.
in. No, don't please.
No, that's wild. And so just curious perspectives, like how many people did she take across the country? Like how many, like how does that work? Like it's easy to do a US easy, quote unquote, easy to do a US tour, but as soon as you start going international and you have to start taking these people with you to Europe, to Southeast Asia, like that's a big deal. Like there's a lot of moving parts. So like,
Yeah.
can you just speak on that?
I think there were like 70 of us.
Oh my gosh. How did you fly there? Was it the whole plane?
Maybe.
It's
I feel like we
crazy.
flew. I feel like there were like so A and B party. So Selena's crew is A party, and then like band and dancers are B party. I feel like we traveled together, and then crew, just because they have so many different things going on, like maybe even potentially like other gigs that they're doing at the same time, they flew
Hmm.
different than us. Um, but yeah, we did. I don't think we took up a whole flight
But
by any
you
means.
stinking took up half of it though.
Yeah, I think it was like
Yeah, and I
five
guess
buses
you probably wouldn't fly. You only probably flew to Asia, and then you probably took
to Asia.
buses everywhere. Yeah.
Actually, we flew in Asia. We flew to every
Oh wow.
new city.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because some of them were. I mean, obviously, from where did we go? We went to Japan. I think we went from Malaysia to Japan, and that was obviously a flight because
Yeah.
you can't drive to Japan. It's an island. And then from Japan, we went to Australia and flew there too. Which that's, but everything else yeah, we flew.
What wild memories are you gonna have? Like, or you already
Wild,
have? Like, how?
wild,
It's
wild.
so crazy,
I
man.
journal too. I journal too, and that was, I have my tour journal.
Shoot, that is
Oh,
so
she's
crazy.
ripe. She's ripe with
I
stories.
bet, man. And like, you know what? That's gonna be first of all, like, even thinking smaller picture. Like, obviously, my journal and maybe your journal, we might have big picture thoughts for them. I at least do for mine. Like, I'd love to publish it one day, kind of thing. Um,
Oh
but
God, no,
I'm cool with being that vulnerable with it. It's
no.
whatever. But like the point being is like even just like to look back when you're 70 or to show your grandkids, be like, this is what I was thinking here. Like, for you, I was in the middle of Japan. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, and these were my thoughts. Like, how crazy is that going to be to look back on? You know?
What's so funny to me, because I've read back on it
Hmm.
already, and what's so funny to me is that there are moments where I'm like in the most beautiful place. I'm in, like Kuala Lumpur, like looking out of this like gorgeous bay window, all glass, and I just remember being so sad to something had happened, and I was so sad, and I'm just like, God, this is hilarious,
Yeah. Yeah.
like. And but yes, it's so funny that you also bring up being 70 and looking back on it, because that is like literally my motivation in
Yeah.
life, is I want to um have all the stories for, the great grandkids.
100%. I love it. I love it. So there's a couple things in addition that I want to chat about. I want to chat about writing with Disney and the work you've done with them, but I also want to talk about your original music too. So let's talk about Disney, and then we'll kind of segue into the original. Because I believe saw on your Instagram or somewhere, maybe it was YouTube, you just posted or something like that. That you have something coming up, a new release, whether it be a music video or a new song, one of the two.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that.
I just released like my first single by myself.
Hey, there you go. I love it. I love it.
Thanks.
That's so exciting. Yeah. So let's talk. I guess we're already talking about. Let's talk about it now. So here you go. So let's talk. So it was called
Optimistic.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. It came out on October 7th, and yeah, it's my
It's
first.
a bop for sure.
Thank you.
It's a legit bop. I liked it. I really liked it.
It's very fun. I mean, what I love about music is like when it makes you feel good, when it makes you dance, or just like feel something in general. So, and I just loved, I wrote that with my friends. I wrote that with Mickey Blue and Gil Lewis in London 2 years ago. And it's just like, it came together so easily. It has just stuck with me for literally for 2 years. I just put it out. We wrote it in September of 2019, just came out. So yeah, it just so good. It's been such an incredible learning experience too, because this is my first like release on my own as an artist, not a feature. I'm putting all of the creative efforts into it. I'm like, it's me, it's my choices, it's, my vision and everything, and my responsibility for how it,
How it does.
how it goes, how it does. It's been really eye-opening with how much work goes into it as an independent artist as well.
Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, you are your own
Everything.
promoter. You're your own. I learned how to run ads like on
Yeah.
Facebook and YouTube, and thinking about doing it on like Pinterest. You can run ads on. It's just, to get it in front of as many people as possible, and they don't have to click on it, they don't have to listen to it, but at least like they'll see the name.
Have you gotten into influencer marketing yet?
No.
That
What?
would be something really interesting for you to do. So, and it works, being that you're on TikTok so well. Reach out to as many TikTok influencers as you can and just say, hey, how much would you charge to use my song?
Yes, got you. Influencer marketing. No, I have not done that, but that is another thing. Yes, like I think Optimistic would be great for like a those makeup videos where you like start out with a blank face.
Oh,
and
nice. Yeah.
yeah, I think that would be so cool. But thank you. Good shout. Other than that, I mean, you're your own everything. You're your own everything. I do have help. I do have
Sure.
graphic designer friends. I have management. I have a lawyer. So I do have support. It's not all myself, but it's a lot. And I'm grateful that I enjoy the process, because
Yeah.
if I didn't, then I would quit.
Yeah.
I'd be like, songwriter. That's it.
That's a great point, actually.
Yeah.
But also, even that last part that you said, like, even if you didn't enjoy it, then you just decide to do one part of it. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to fit the mold, So, and one of the things I like to talk about is, for example, I just had an artist, somebody on here. They weren't even an artist; they were the manager of an artist. And the reason I had them on here was because I was like, you know what? I want to show that even if you don't have to fit the mold of, I want to be an artist, I want to sing like Selena Gomez in front of 100,000 people. Like, if you want to be in the music industry, there's so many different avenues.
Oh my God, there's so many. There's so many, and that is kind of comforting too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But it would probably be devastating, at least for me, and maybe the way you're speaking for you.
Absolutely. That's
if you're like, if you realize, shoot, I hate this, but I really want to be this, a rock star, like.
Yeah, the devastation would be too much to bear. It would be too much to bear.
So maybe we just convince ourselves that we like it.
Thinking about my personality, it's like, I hate this. You can't give up. I wouldn't be able to. I really wouldn't.
It's so cool though, and it's cool to hear that you were working on with Mickey on that one. She speaks very highly of you.
She is just the brightest energy. She's just got such a great. She
I
could
could
be
see why you
friend.
guys. Well, I could see why you guys click too.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now, kind of transitioning now into actually. So before that, have you posted the music video? Like, what was the teaser I saw? I saw some sort of teaser.
I didn't do a full-fledged music video. I do have a live performance video that will be coming out very soon. But I did these little teaser trailers just for the song because
Okay.
music videos they
Oh
take
yeah.
budget, and I do have a lot of friends who make music videos.
But they still
That
take
I
budget.
But things don't take budget. Uh, and it's the first song. You
Sure.
know, I'm just getting my feet wet, so I didn't want to just blow it all
Yeah,
at the
that's
beginning.
actually a really cool concept to do, like kind of snippets of ideas, and
Yeah,
throw things out there.
I still wanted to do something creative.
I
I
like
wanted
that.
to get people thinking. I wanted to get people feeling. Excuse me. The first one is talking about how, nothing is perfect, but I choose to see the bright side of things,
Mm.
when even though life isn't fair, I choose to see the bright side. And it's like, are you optimistic? Because I feel like sometimes optimism is a very oddly controversial subject. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
it'll work out, like everything will work out. People are like you're delusional, or they just don't take that as sage advice. They
Hmm.
just, they call themselves realists or pessimists. And I'm like, okay, good luck with that,
Yeah.
like good luck manifesting anything in your
Yeah.
life. Good luck getting what you want.
Yeah.
Like, I understand logic, I understand reasoning, but at the same time, like, we're literally, I'm just going to get a little mystical for a second, but we're literally like beings made out of stardust. And like it took so many generations, like thousands of people had to survive just so you could exist today. So like, let's talk like realistic. Like, we're literally how what I shouldn't exist, you shouldn't exist, but we do.
Mm.
So that's how I
Absolutely.
like to look at it.
Yeah.
It's just a
It's a
like
miracle
a
we made it this far.
it's easier for my mind to function throughout the day, like with being optimistic.
It's a much better lifestyle choice.
Yeah, thanks. I think I'm
Absolutely.
gonna live really long
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
of it.
Absolutely. I like
Yeah.
that. I love that. Good stuff. So, transitioning now from your own stuff into some of the stuff that you've worked with others, because now we were talking kind of, we call it backstage, I guess, right before we pressed record on the Zoom call.
Backstage.
Back Zoom. Um, that another connection that we have, a mutual connection, is Josh Cumby, which actually I didn't realize that until I was doing more research. I had forgotten that Mickey had told me. Little small. I just sent Josh a package like literally yesterday. So it's just such a small world, man. So I started a little. I guess I'll ruin the surprise as a thank you to everybody that comes on the channel. I send thank you packages. Um,
Cute.
so
That's
after
so
this,
precious.
you'll have to send me an address after the fact.
Okay.
But I had Josh on forever ago, and I sent him one, and part of it is like coffee, and he like was super pumped about the coffee, and so I remembered that, and I recently started my own coffee brand, and I was like, hey Josh, I just want to send you. I think you'd appreciate this, so you will be one of the first to try also the new
Oh
coffee
my
brand.
gosh. You're also living one of my dreams. I want my own coffee brand and I want my own wine company.
Oh, see, I want to do whiskey. I want to do
Okay.
whiskey
Oh,
so
yeah.
bad. I think that'd
I'm
be
a
so cool.
wine. I love wine. I love rosé. I'm such a
It's
basic.
so cool, man. Hey, I love it. You know what though? I love it. Hey, one day, right? That's the goal. One day.
Yes.
So actually, so speaking of Josh, transitioning, you have worked with Josh on a whole bunch of things, including a lot of stuff for Disney. Whether it be High School Musical, the musical, you did the song with Joshua Bassett. You worked on Wondering, and then you also were involved in Lana Del Rey's song in Cruella, I believe. Correct?
Florence and the Machine.
Sorry,
The
Florence and the
Machine
Machine.
song
Yes.
in Cruella. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you go from now working with Selena Gomez to now writing with Disney?
This is funny. So I was out of a job. I was out of a job and I did not want to go back to waiting
Mm.
tables, nannying. I didn't want to do it. I was like, I've tasted what it's like to make money off of music and
Out of a
have that.
job after Selena Gomez?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Cool.
You get off tour,
Sure. Yeah, yeah, of
you
course.
don't have a job,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I went to a psychic and she was like, you will not have to work another part-time job. I see only music for you. And I was like, okay. And then maybe 2 months later, I met my manager in a very happenstance type of way, just like, wow, okay, that happened. Um, and I showed him a bunch of my music. He started putting me in sessions, and one of those songs that I wrote in the sessions got Disney's ears perked up because he had sent it over to Mio, who is over at Disney, and had a meeting with them, showed them some other music, and they were like, we want to sign you. And
Wow.
this is not how it always goes. I need to tell you, this is not how it always goes. I think that it was just like right place, right time. Disney was looking to sign people, like, and sign, take risks on new
But you
people.
put yourself out there,
But I put myself out there. I
right?
did,
Comes
yeah.
full circle, doesn't it?
Yep.
Comes full
Yep.
circle. No, it's
Yep.
true. And it doesn't, but you know what? It would not have worked out for you like that had you not put yourself out there. You never the worst thing that happens is you say no or they say
Exactly.
no. I want to
Exactly.
talk
And then you just keep going.
100%. And then now the next person could say no, and the next, and then you just never know when they'll start saying yes.
Yeah.
You never know. And you could be that one no away from that yes. Actually, you ever hear that the whole aspect of like, people get excited when they hear no's because they're that much closer to a yes?
I haven't, but that is a very optimistic way of looking at
But it's kind of true. It's like, it's all a game of probability, technically, if you want to
it.
think like that. It's like, well, there's statistic, or more like statistics. Statistically, there can only be so many no's before a
Yeah,
yes comes along, right? And
I
you
love
just
that.
it's a numbers game. You just have to put as many, um, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it, out there.
On the board.
Chance, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah.
But I want to talk about your management. So you kind of said you met your manager in a very happenstance kind of way. How did you? First of all, two questions, super question. Know when it was time for you to get a manager as an artist, and second of all, how did you develop that relationship where you trust the person to actually become your manager? Again, speaking for the people that um, are looking to get one in one at
Yeah.
one point, right?
So I knew I needed a manager because I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said, I got off tour. The tour I even kind of fell into, um,
Mm,
because of someone that I had known
yeah.
prior. And I just said yes to doing it. So I was really just at a crossroads. I was like, I don't know enough people in the publishing world or A&Rs, or I just didn't know that many business people in music. I only knew songwriters and producers, and at that, like, they were even just starting out as well. So I was like in this pool of people who were just kind of like, we just had big question marks over our head, like, what are we doing? um and so when I met him, and I met him through my roommate at the time, she had actually ran into him at a music video shoot, and he was like, do you sing? And she was like, no, my roommate does though. He was like, okay, show me some videos. So he showed her some videos, and he was like, let's have a meeting. So then we met, and I was just really honest with him about what I wanted and where I wanted to go. And um, I think he saw, I mean, I showed him my music as well, but I think he just saw like the hunger
Mm,
and the drive and the willingness to do not whatever it takes, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
You know what I mean when I say
Absolutely.
whatever it is. Um, and so we just started working together, and I didn't sign right away, of course. Like, I wanted to, he also wanted to see how it went as well, So I think what a good manager does is they start managing you before they're your manager.
I've
You
heard
know,
that.
like, they put you in these sessions, they put you in meetings, they help you along so that you're like, you already see like what they could do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it, you know, a deal comes up and it's like, all right, let's do it. Let's do
Yeah.
this. Like, we've gotten this far, so
Yeah.
let's go.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. So you've been in the industry for quite some time now. You have quite a few things under your belt. In all these, like I said, you know, your hand is in a lot of cookie jars, and I think that that is really, really cool. Because you also met a lot of people throughout all this stuff. You know, there's so many different contexts.
So many people. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like when I go to a place like Hotel Cafe, or just literally out. Hotel Cafe is a venue here in Hollywood. I just see people everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in 7 years. Like, how are you? You know, like it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's amazing though. That is such a cool feeling. So since you stole my final question, what is one thing that you have now seen in the music industry that is very different than you expected?
That is such a good question. You have to do a lot more things for yourself
Wow,
than
that's a great
than
answer.
than you initially think. Like you think you get these teams and you think that they will do everything for you, but it's a lot of do it yourself, and then they kind of assist
Hmm.
along the way. You
Are
know,
you
there's
signed
a
to
lot of
Are you
what's
signed
that?
to a label?
I'm not. No, I'm independent.
Oh, you mentioned that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But it's a lot of like self motivation. It's a lot of yeah, you have to be a self starter in a
Yeah.
way. Like you can't just like
Wait around.
wait by a phone and hope that somebody calls. It's like you go out, you do it. You make the connections. Be bold. Email A&Rs, email publishers, email like go on LinkedIn, find find the people that are in charge.
Yeah,
Email them.
yeah.
Um, it's a lot of
I think
doing
that that is how I met both Mickey and Josh. By the way, now that
really.
yeah, definitely Josh. I just cold emailed,
Yep.
and I'm almost positive. I don't remember there being any connection, so it must have just been a cold DM. Just been like, hey, you want
Yeah.
to come on the channel for an interview? So, and
Yep.
now I've met you through Mickey. So it's just it all comes full circle. But you're right, putting yourself out. It all comes back to putting yourself out there.
Put yourself out there.
Come
Yeah.
on, look at
Do it
that.
yourself. Because you just can't be afraid. You just
Yeah,
can't be. You can be afraid. You just can't let it stop you.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you have to you like you said, you have to go get it yourself. People aren't just gonna hand it to you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
That was the that is a hard pill to swallow though, because you think you get these publishers and these
mm,
managers and lawyers and everything, and you think that it's like they're gonna bring things to you. Excuse me. No, you bring things to them. You're like, oh, I got this. Like, can you help me with this?
mm,
Oh, I got this. Can you help me with this? Oh, I got, you know.
yeah.
So, I mean, they do it back as well when it comes along, but it's you. It's all you.
I love it. I love the energy that you put off, man. It's a lot of
Hey,
fun. It's a lot of fun to chat. So
thank you.
your links will be in the description. Your like your Instagram and stuff, and I'll put a link to your music as well. And then now we chat at TikTok. Your TikTok will be down there as well. But what is the best way for people to support you these days?
Just follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok. I am creating a website. Um, oh, stream my music. How about that?
Optimistic, out
Stream
now everywhere.
optimistic. Out everywhere on all platforms.
I love it.
I also started a YouTube as well where I put up these like vlog slash behind the scenes type of
Love that
videos.
content.
They're so fun to make. I feel like Emma Chamberlain, who I love so much. She is my safety queen. I love watching her videos. They bring everyone such comfort. Like that's what she's known for. But anyway, yeah,
Emma Chamberlain.
Emma Chamberlain,
Yeah.
yeah.
So speaking of cold DMing, I DM'd her manager or emailed her manager, and
Hmm.
she said she's not available for an interview at the moment. But
That's okay.
you put
I love
yourself
that
out
you did
there.
that.
You put
I
yourself out.
love it.
I got the email 2 days ago.
Oh my God, that's literally amazing. When you do interview her, please tell her I say hi.
Absolutely.
I love her. She is my aesthetic, my comfy aesthetic queen.
100%. I love her videos, man. They're the best. Absolutely. But
Yeah.
if you could just hang out for 30 more seconds, I just want to say, first of all, thank you tremendously to you. But also thank you for everybody that watches or listen to this after the fact. You guys are the true ones making it all the way out here. Best way to support all this is go check out Jordan's stuff everywhere. All the links, all the places. And definitely consider checking out my music. It's Jacob Restituto wherever you listen. And subscribe here or whatever platform you're listening to. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jordan. God bless and
Thank
peace
you.
out.
Love.